But there's no Terrans here today, so that's not really that
Yep.
important. Spawning in the lower right corner of Ohana, we have the Teal Protoss, not his body.
And his opponent today in the upper left-hand corner, up by 1 game in the purple, off racing as Zerg. It is the 86th rank on the Grandmaster NA right now, ROOTMasa, or Henry Massa in this case.
Well, like I said before, the teams aren't necessarily the same thing as a team. Like,
Right,
for
right, right.
example, Team Complexity signed up, but they're not there officially representing Team Complexity. It's just like 7 guys from Complexity House. Why not just call themselves Complexity type thing? So, Henry just kind of a ragtag bunch of misfits. And today, because their opponents did not show, they were gracious enough to agree to play a best of 3 for us guys. So we do have something to show you, and decide to silly it up a little bit, do something that you're not going to see too often, and that is off race.
Yeah, these are Grandmaster level players off racing just for you.
Yeah, I
Real
mean that's the
special.
thing. It might not seem like a large notion, but you know these players are going to be playing tournaments on the regular. They're getting cast on the regular, and they're never going to be off racing like this because you don't play a weak race in a tournament where there's money involved. You're always going to see not his body as Zerg. You're always going to see Ramassa as Terran. So this is kind of a special little treat, as silly as it is.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a little refreshing too. StarCraft can be fun. It's not just about the money. We see right now that Massa went with the 14 pool. He's at 15 supply. Is he gonna
I
expand? There he is. All
Yeah,
right.
not his buddy again. Going for that Nexus first. I mean, it's not a safe opening, and especially with a 14 pool. If Massa sends some early lings out, this will be shut down entirely early.
And actually, this Overlord, I don't. God, I hope he goes towards the expansion more. Yeah, there he goes. He's headed down, and I kind of feel like if Massa decides to cancel this hatchery and just build Zerglings, he'll auto win. I really do. I could see that happening because now we got the pylon, and if he goes Cybercore before Forge, oh my god.
Well, this is a more grubby-esque build where you put the Cybernetic Core and the Forge in the back. This does leave your opening a little weaker because it takes longer to get up, but this is more sturdy in the late game because you can afford to lose gateways. You cannot afford to lose your Forge halfway through +3 upgrades.
All right, not his body. Send his probe in, and he didn't actually check both gases, and he didn't see that the spawning pool was in fact down. It's a safe guess that it is. Meanwhile, the Overlord can see that the Nexus is down and that the Gateway was first and
Ooh.
not a Forge. So we have 4 Zerglings moving across the map at the same time that an early third is going to be attempted to
But a
be taken.
cannon is already going down for Nada's body. These Zerglings might be able to skirt by, but only just barely. No, it's gonna complete in time. It will pick off.
Yeah.
I believe 4 Zerglings is not enough. I think you need 6 to get through a cannon. But
Oh, actually, really good reaction timing there out of Massa. The Overlord failed to scout that the Forge was in the back, and that's why he tried that out. And actually, he does have one Zergling who was prepared for that probe to try and do a cannon rush on the third, and actually surrounds it with Zerglings here. Is he going to get it? That's slow lings against a probe. Nicely done.
well, 5 minutes in the game doesn't really count as a rush anymore. I don't think. I think it's just a cannon assault at that point.
Well, against the third. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
it's funky how the hatchery has less vision than the drones. So I mean, like you can effectively get stuff like that off for the investment of 250 minerals. Shut down a third base location.
Yeah, and then force your opponent to waste larvae to build more. Normally, roaches is the best way for Zerg to clean up a cannon early game. And so you force them to invest in that, and then you delay them building more drones, and so you delay them overall, and then you get that beautiful 2 base timing with 3 Colossi and or Immortal all in, as we were taught.
Yeah, man, immortals are such strong units, and
And when did that happen? Do you remember when no one built Immortals?
I know
They were
like the immortal
just
century all in just kind of happened. It was like the 70s, man. It came and it was just there. People enjoyed it, and that was all there was to it. But I do want to point out, for those who don't know, QXC recently did this little. I don't really want to call it a vlog, but he had this little video where he was talking about how to balance the game and what makes StarCraft good and what doesn't make StarCraft good. And one thing he was talking about, and there's a lot of emphasis on, was the immortal shields and passive abilities. Now he was talking about like, rather than have it be a passive ability that's on all the time, have the same effect, but have it create like an AoE that affects everything under it, like an umbrella type thing for the duration of it. And I'm watching this video, it's very intelligent, very well worded out, but the whole time he's talking about this one point in particular, I'm like, Guardian Shield? Sentries? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I think he was. Like, I did see that video as well. I think he was trying to say more like it wasn't
Oh, I
a
understood.
radius effect. There was had to be a touch base, so it was like your unit literally had to be adjacent to the immortal to gain that benefit from it.
Yeah, I 100% understood what he's going for there, but I'm just saying that one point, like, it just kind of,
Yeah.
I sat there for a second and I was just like, Sentries. Guardian Shield, okay. Now we have a lot of gateways being added right now. This is going to bring it up to a total of 6, so we may just see that Sentry Immortal Island you were just talking about. There's not a lot of sentries on the field right now, but with Warp Gate finishing up soon, we might just see that change.
Yeah, there's 4 gates just finishing up, and now 2 more on the way, and those 3 immortals are out already with 1 more coming. This Overlord is trying to double check, but he dies. Got tickled to death.
Yeah, Sentry, man, that's just weird. That's like a queen off creep chasing an Overlord. It does work, but just barely.
Yep. And that's why he's starting to set up some forward pylons, a little bit
Ooh.
non-aggressively.
And a warp prism as well. I'm not sure if he's going to use this purely for reinforcement purposes, but being able to pick up those immortals, keep them alive, drop, shoot, pick up, very good, very effective against Zerg, especially because all these attacks do have missile timers. And oh man, all these forward pylons. Not as Buddy doesn't have vision of this. The Overlord's just a little too far north.
Massa has been focusing on getting rid of those rocks, though, because he's aware that that is really dangerous for him. He's got some roaches, 2 spine crawlers, but here are immortal sentry zealot. The zealots are actually behind it first, and the force fields
Surprise.
aren't the best just yet.
Doesn't really
the
need them
zealots are
to
a
be the
little
best, though.
useless.
The reality is he
Drones
doesn't
are
need them.
cool.
Look at this. The Immortals are just hammering away the roaches from the back. And Jay saying sound died? Sound died?
I'm here. I'm alive. So there's still things happening. The immortals are just owning the roaches, and the sentries are not being targeted down. Finally, the spine crawler starts to do a little bit of damage, but so far, this really looks like Massa cannot save his third, and maybe might even be about to lose the game. He's going to have, what is it, 2 spine crawlers with some roaches and zerglings. Am I casting to myself right now?
No, it's just you're doing a lot of talking, no reason to interrupt because you're dead on with exactly what's happening.
He's laying down forward gateways right now.
Oh wow, this is almost manner status.
Oh, and the warp prism is there. I think we might be about to go 1-1 here. I really don't see how Massa's going to hold this off with just this force.
Ooh, and picking up sentries for the high ground. This is great.
Oh, no, and the whole army's on the high ground.
But it gets
Oh,
fungled as well.
Beautiful timing on that fungal. If those sentries had managed to force field the
Oh,
low
but he's
ground.
not going to kill the warp prism.
Oh,
I don't think he realized that there were 4 sentries in there, and what a big deal that would have been to kill off that warp prism. Did pull back to the front. I guess maybe a little scared of a forward push, but
he did have 2 more fungals available.
yeah,
So he
or
could-
just if you could real quick, since I got the camera controls, I can't do it. Tab out, just see if there's sound on the stream or not. Because I don't actually know. Maybe Jay's computer just died, but we do have this warp prism moving forward. Will it get fungled again? It's got all of its shields back though, trying to bait out some stuff above the infestors. And not his body without an observer. Going to have a little bit of trouble getting the high ground vision for free as the warp prism is chased off again.
Panda says we're good.
Okay, well then whatever. So here's that observer I was just talking about before. Let's wait for it to float around. Oh my goodness.
Photon
There's
cannons.
cannons. Is he going to try and... Oh, he's building a nexus here too.
What?
BM. I guess, not having his own third and taking away masses, he kind of can do what he wants. This third's being creep dropped at the moment, so there's nothing he can really do about it.
Massa's actually making perhaps the best decision that he can right now. He knows he can't take the third, so he's laying down.
Oh, and the
his
Zergling
macro-
is going to scout all of this. And he's going to be like, oh, come on, man, that's not cool.
Oh, the overlords
he's
are terribly out of position.
supply blocked
there.
as well, yeah. Nice fungals going down, but it's not going to really matter unless he gets every single one of those sentries. Then it becomes the best fungals of his life. And he will those sentries. Oh my goodness, he needed one more fungal. 4 health remaining on all of those sentries. There we go. There'll be no more force fields and no support for this army, Ord.
Nicely done. And Riff, look what's happening. Colossi switch.
We have a robo. This is you call it a proxy, but it's not. It's really in base. I'm not sure what to make of
Yeah.
this.
He's saying that this 4/5 of the map is mine. Go away. And all right, Massa actually does slip out a drone, and he's going to be able to establish a third, which is a little disappointing. No longer 4/5 of the map is not as, and actually our supplies are very close as the Greater Spire is coming. He really wants to get those Broodlords out, and well, let's open up that army tab really quick. Army supply is even. However, it's mostly in Zerglings for Massa at the moment. He's got more Infestors on the way.
I didn't expect him to actually do it, but yeah, just having a little bit of fun with the players, guys. Because again, this isn't a super serial match. They're off racing, they're having some fun, and I mean, he's let the Protoss player take his fourth. I mean, this is shenanigans. But look
And
at this! Oh, ROOTMasa actually responded by taking not his body's fourth and his own fifth as his third.
I like this. This is kind of awesome. This map never gets split in this
Yeah,
direction.
you never play vertical. It's always horizontal. There's, the north and the south, but no, today is east and west. Off race versus off race. Everything's twisted around. Why the hell not?
Yeah, and this observer can actually see these drones being transferred, so not as body's got to be aware that something like that is happening. And oh god, there's just no way that Massa can go up this little ramp right here. There's too many colossi and
or there's no sentries. There's no force field support for this.
It's true.
I mean, these colossi are the only scary part of this army. Sure, there's a ton of stalkers there, but I mean, there's no force field.
Broodlords! They've arrived.
The Colossus are definitely helping to limit their damage, but he can't really push up too much. He's got to be careful. He's also given away the fact that he does have Broodlords. It would have been a nice little surprise factor, but he's got a lot of Infestors. They've got almost full energy, and Infestors are a pretty cool race, bro.
Not his body is actually only halfway done with his blink research. It looks like he got a little excited about how solid his position was.
And
earlier.
well, with the cannons coming down, this Robo might actually it does get depowered and becomes useless. And I don't know. Not his body.
The warp prism. What was it doing there? It gets fungled, and the infested Terrans are probably gonna. Yep, it's done.
And Massa, I mean, he's in a good position because not his body does not want to engage until he has that blink available to get right underneath those Broodlords.
Man, this is just silliness, and there's lots of pylons going on in the back here, and yet he's abandoning them to move around for kind of a flanking maneuver, but the creep's there, so of course Mass is going to be able to see that's coming. There's now 5 Broodlords, a 6-1 morphing, and Blink has finished. There he goes, he blinks forward.
Trying to get under those Broodlords, but the Colossus are just ravaging the Infestors.
Fungals. Those are great Fungals. And yet, there's still just not going to be enough for Massa.
Yeah, I mean, the Broodlords are just pushing hard, but they don't have much health. There's no Queens to transfuse right now. Only a couple Stalkers for main Ord. And with no anti-air for this, these Colossi will get cleaned up. Again, there's only this small contingency of Stalkers.
Yeah. They blink underneath, and, he's going to lose a lot more Stalkers than he should have, but he does finish it up finally.
Yeah, that Warp-In will be just enough for Nada's body. And he should be able to just push up and win here. Because, I mean, there's a couple more Broodlords morphing in, but looking at the army tab, there's nothing for Massa right now.
He's ahead by 50 supply, but he wants to make sure that these gateways have a chance to get into the game first. And
not to mention, he's got these funky
looking at his
up.
vision, he does not know about the left side of the map. He doesn't know.
Yeah, a little bit sneaky, a little bit cheeky. Look at all these gateways coming in, though. Oh my goodness.
2 random roaches come in to harass, I guess, the third base of Nada's body. They get cleaned up pretty easily, and Massa's he's trying to more Broodlords, because Broodlord Infestor, that's what you want, right?
And Nada's body has fallen a little behind on tech. I mean, we have the +2 about the same time as the Zerg +2. It's not something you too often see. Between Chrono Boosts and the early Forge, usually you'll have that +3 very, very early. And oh, this is what he wants to do. He's adding some Templar to this now, Ord. Look at where he's taken another base location. Archons are going to destroy what little ROOTMasa has.
Yeah, and this Overlord can actually see that that's coming down. And Massa can't do anything about it.
No, he really
Cannot
can't. He's
change it.
trying to get those Broodlords out, but I mean, there's so few of them. I'm a little worried about this.
He's got 3 of them so far. I really wish, like you said earlier, that he would get some more queens, because a couple transfuses really doubles the effectiveness of each of these Broodlords. And here comes Nada's body blinking up on the third, or the second. He gets fungled on the ramp, but just with these Colossi and these Immortals, I don't see how Massa could possibly...
It is that lack of anti-air again, though. I mean, the Archons are in the back. They're not up front where they want to be. The sentries are getting really low, too.
Yeah, he's got to pull away there because the Stalkers actually got completely destroyed by the Spine Crawlers.
He does have another Warp and join the farmy, though, and the Broodlords are out of position. The Stalkers can blink under them very easily.
Oh, no! And there they do, and they're going to pick off... Oh,
no,
no,
that
not.
transfuse! So clutch.
Nicely done.
That was about as last second as you could get him for sure. One more volley from the Stalkers would have finished it, and he's actually mining from this base.
Yeah, he is. He's saturated it. He's got the Queen on the way down at that lower fourth base location.
You know when on TV when you get two guys fighting and it looks like it's going to be a real big deal, but then they end up just slapping each other over and over and over again? Kind of like doggy paddling each other in the face. Kind of feels like the way this game is going right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's like Nada's body keeps on assuming that he's gonna win the fight, and so he just kind of slaps Massa, and then Massa just slaps him back, and that's all that's happening.
And the Worker Union unite. The Zealot gonna, well, no, the drone stopped attacking. And that Zealot's actually gonna get about 7, 5, 6 kills before it goes down. It's a hero Zealot.
And now the Zealots are getting warped in, and they're gonna go ahead and try to finish off the drones over there. Interestingly, he's not targeting the hatchery. This
is a contained method that would work if Massa didn't have these other two bases up and mining. And I don't think our Protoss player realizes that there are so many bases on the map.
Yeah, I don't think he has any clue at all. And actually, looking at his third, he's got just so many probes there. He's not maxed out yet, and he's got tons of chrono saved up too. There's actually, oh, there we go. Storm is finally halfway on the way, and Charge is going to join us eventually as well. We have more Broodlords taking out that darn assimilator.
Yeah, the Infestors are poised, ready to fungal as soon as that blink happens. I like the positioning Massa has right now. He's got to be careful, though. There are Archons now.
Many of them. You know, that base does go down, but it honestly...
Wow, that Archon! Did you see how fast that Archon went down?
Yes.
And Massa's actually pushing back, and I can't believe it. Look at the
Broodlings. 11
Broodlings.
Supply difference right now.
Yeah, neither player has hit max at any point in this game.
Nada's body actually just is mining through Broodlings right now. Nah, he's finally pulling his probes. And he's got 10 Broodlords, Massa does, and that's supported by about 16 Infestors, 14 actually.
Oh,
and what would work wonderfully for Massa right now is a little just circling run-by into the main.
Oh, and those Fungals holding all the Stalkers in place, but they're underneath the Broodlords. There's a Storm going down as well. The sentries don't have the best force fields, unfortunately. However, I think Massa should be able to clean this up. The Stalkers have gone down. And
yeah,
again,
I think Massa's winning this fight.
It's that lack of anti-air, man.
Oh my goodness.
Will he push forward?
Broodlord Infestor, that is what you want.
Yeah, trying to poke away at this Archon is the last remaining remnant of anti-air.
A couple of mortals just disappear there, and Nada's body is realizing this is why this base is never taken.
Yeah, this is why you don't go vertical, but, you know, again, I don't know just how serious these guys are taking this game.
Meanwhile, down at the fourth base of Massa, finally a pylon appears and some zealots come on in, and it's them versus a queen.
2-2. The queen does not stand a chance. Actually, 2-2 with 2 zealots even. I mean...
Yep.
And this base is going down. I think now his body realizes, oh, you know what? I've been goofing around for so long. Without this actual third base, my income is non-existent. He can't max right now. We don't see any warp-ins happening.
What is happening right now? Nada's body is probably breaking out in a cold sweat, realizing that he messed around for a little too long. And actually, the Zerglings do end up cleaning up those zealots down at the fourth base, so that hatchery's still up. There's available for Massa, who's now pushing forward Zerglings, Infestors, and some Broodlords eventually
Oh,
showing up.
Infestors, though, getting feedback the
Oh,
crap
yeah.
out of. But I mean, I don't know if it'll matter. Because all those feedbacks mean no storms, means no anti-air capabilities still. These couple stalkers are just not enough, or
Yeah, the base goes down. The probes are going to join the fight. Looks like Nana's body is just trying to take out Infestors with probes. It's honestly working.
it
It's
is.
working.
It shouldn't be working, but it is.
What?
And with the Infestors running away and not being able to protect the Broodlords are actually going to die. We've got a couple
Yeah,
more morphing in, but it won't matter.
the probes swing the tide.
And they're still chasing the Infestors! These probes are the most effective probes you'll ever see in your entire life. This is between two Grandmaster players, guys. You'll never get an opportunity to see this ever again. Oh, that one Infestor, 1 health. Look, he does get taken out. Orin, what the hell just happened? There's no income for Nada's body. He has these units on the field. These are his last units. He can't even build a Nexus right now. I mean, Massa could win with Zerglings. It's a question of whether he will or not.
Yeah, and actually down at the kind of third base-ish, there are Zerglings harassing those probes as well. And so you can't even long-distance mine. And 35 supply to 118 with nothing in production for Nada's body.
13 workers, mostly just gas production right now. He can build 1 probe. That's all he can do right now. He can build a probe if he would like to. And
And
I
now he's going to
guess
start long-distance mining.
Massa's not too shabby with his off race, I guess. I mean, he's really I thought he had this game lost, you know, and I think yeah,
And
there's
Nada's body calls GG.